From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a quick, spoiler-free film review for you. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie Not Another Teen Movie, released in 2001. Starring Shyla Lee, Jamie Priestley, and Chris Evans. Directed by Joel Gallen. The synopsis is, simply put, this is a parody of teen movies. The film opens up with a fantastic American Pie homage featuring the scene where the main protagonist's parents barge into his room while he, and in this case she, is doing something very private. It's hilariously done, but the laughs continue and you begin to notice the many references to teen movies that pop up along the way. The scenes and situations are funny, but it makes it doubly amusing if you actually know the film and their scenes that they're being parodied. The main film this parodies is She's All That, released in 1999, where the main character, Lainey, and in this case her name is Janie, gets the attention of the school's jock. In this movie, his name is Jake, and played by none other than Chris Evans. What she doesn't know is that he has a bet going that he can transform her into a popular girl at school. There are scenes that nearly play out exactly like those in She's All That, but it's sure to make fun of the premise in a more exaggerated form. For example, the jock is made to transform a girl who is already gorgeous, which is a fallacy of the original film. She just wears overalls and glasses and puts her hair in a ponytail, and immediately that makes her a hideous beast. But by removing those three items, she seems to magically transform into a jaw-dropping hottie. The school that this film takes place in is John Hughes High School, named after John Hughes, responsible for writing and directing many teen movies in the 1980s. The next film that Not Another Teen Movie heavily parodies is Varsity Blues, released in 1999, even using one of the actors in the film, Ron Lester, who actually plays Reggie Ray in this movie, and spoofing his role of Billy Bob. Amanda Becca represents Amanda Beckett from Can't Hardly Wait, released in 1998. The character of Mitch Briggs is hopelessly in love with her, acting as a mix between Preston Myers from Can't Hardly Wait and Anthony Michael Hall's many character types in all of the teen movies from the 1980s. And one of the movies also in particular that they parody is The Breakfast Club, released in 1985. The actor Cody McCain's playing Mitch has an incredible likeness to Judd Nelson in that particular scene, and it's hilarious to watch. It's also great seeing Paul Gleason hilariously cameoing in that scene, bringing back the character of the detention officer. Speaking of cameos, we have a great one from Mr. T for a hilarious, inspiring speech. Melissa Joan Hart is sharing her wisdom on the art of the slow clap, which is kind of a brilliant joke that threads throughout the film. Randy Quaid hilariously doing his Randy Quaid thing, and Molly Ringwald schooling the lovers in the movie on the teen movie tropes that aren't realistic about love and romance. Of the many movies parodied are Never Been Kissed Before, released in 1999, where an older female newspaper reporter enrolls in the high school as a part of a research for a story. And Ferris Bueller's Day Off, released in 1986, where a guy is foolishly trusted by his parents. Cruel Intentions, released in 1999, where a sister is inappropriately after her brother. Grease, released in 1978, where the whole school breaks out into song and dance. Like most comedies, when the jokes go too far, it goes way too far. There were a few moments where there were some insults to conjoined twins and albinos, for example, and I thought that was not cool at all. Also, there was a token black eye trope joke that was kind of thread throughout the film that was bordering on going too far. You know, don't get me wrong, some of the moments are super, super funny, and I think it was the massive amounts of that particular joke. They beat it with a dead horse, you know, if you know what I mean, because it was maybe 1 to 2 jokes too many that really didn't need to be in there, but a lot of them were hilarious too, so they could have held back a little bit on that one. For those reasons, I feel like this film will have a problem standing the test of time. Over decades, people are just going to not really identify with some of the, or be completely turned off by some of the humor. Now, other than the insensitive humor, there were a lot of gross humor jokes in there, which I personally didn't have a problem with, but I know that there's a lot of people who are sensitive to that as well. There was also another, delve into the subject of dealing with a sister who's after her brother, and that's pretty cringy. But I have to say, the way it's played, I couldn't stop laughing because it was a complete, train wreck of a situation. It's like, oh boy, I'm sorry. Maybe I should apologize for laughing at those scenes, but I thought they were hilarious. In fact, there were a slew of cringy comedy moments featuring a fantastic performance by Mia Kirshner as Jake's promiscuously insane sister, Catherine Weiler. And wow, she really shines in this. It's one of the standout roles in this film that you just really take notice of the work that she's doing in this movie. But on a whole, the film does stick to the teen movie formula, just enough to tie all of the jokes together so that it doesn't entirely feel like a body of sketches being strung together without a plot. And I love that kind of genius. I call it genius to be able to string things together that are from other places and make it into your own body of work. I thought it was surprisingly well done. One of my favorite jokes revolves around the slow clap, and I think I started to tell you a little bit about it before, but it's really beautifully handled throughout the film. So when you finally get to the end of the film, you get this sweet payoff for the audience. You know, at first it just seems like some random joke that they're just throwing in the film, but you get that payoff in the end, and that's how jokes work. So a lot of funny movies, they lack this potential. They have this really funny idea and they just keep working it throughout the film, but they don't give you a payoff for it. You're kind of, or maybe sometimes they give you the payoff too soon, and that's not good. But these guys did that joke just perfect. Now, in spite of a few moments of bad taste, I feel as if this movie was written with so much love for the original content, infusing the film with delightful nostalgic music of teen movies from yesterday, fun memorable performances, and a pretty decent story to tie it all up like a bow. My rating is a 7.2. That sums up my quick, spoiler-free review. This is Retro Nerd Girl signing off. Take care, movie lovers. I'm off to my next review.